Santa left me a Christmas present and celebrate
Afternoon, good evening, everyone. And this is Derrick Whiteskycloud, and listen to between my mind and my brain and my eyes, Metis Matters Radio. I actually had a hell of a good show last night, so that's why I was all wound up from last night. It was really
That's
fun.
like me at Atlanta Lou's. We had a party last night. Had a few too many. Got too jolly. I have to do the radio show tomorrow. Oh my God.
I'm so jolly. What can I do? I'm a jolly person.
Yep.
Yeah, wait to start putting the weight on, and then they'll really get...
And people say, I don't like those beers you drink. They're too hoppy. Well, I'm a very hoppy person.
There's actually a beer that I found in the store. Or actually, a friend of mine brought it to me, and it's called Wobbly Pop.
Oh, yeah.
So
I think that's what is that, Parallel 49 beer? I think it is, yeah.
Yeah. So
you get them as a sponsor, I think.
So Parallel 40, so you just see parallels in 49 degrees?
Yeah. Exactly. You know it's a good beer when that happens. No, I can't do a radio show. I won't be coherent now.
Yes, folks. This is CFRO 100.5FM, and this is Metis Matters Radio, and I am your host, Derrick Whiteskycloud. A little confusion in the beginning, but we are here. Today we're going to have, I guess to say a very unique thing that's going to happen, because next week we're going to have the celebration of Ken Fisher. It's actually, I've been with this program, this station, for about a year now. And Ken Fisher passed away on December the 9th, so we're going to do a little bit of a memorial show, one-year memorial show for him, and to honor him and his family and all those that are there. And so I'm going to be doing a lot of research and pulling up some of his sound, I guess to say his voices, some of his soundtracks from the past. But this week we're going to be talking about, I would say, some people call it Ghosts of Christmas Past, but basically our fondest stories as kids growing up, whether we're Metis or First Nations or, any Indigenous childhood regarding Christmas and anything, one of the most fondest memories they ever did. Crazy stuff, basically myself, I did crazy stuff at Christmas time. And so what we're going to do is actually you can have Dale Haggerty join us, and we're going to be talking about Christmas. I got stories to tell you guys that stupid things we used to do. And Dale and I were reminiscing on that a while back, a few days ago. We were talking about the things we did as kids, even for our school to raise money, to help other foundations. But it wasn't even hardly a foundation. It was more like, I can't remember the name of I think it was, Dale will remember. I think he'll remember what it was. But we're going to talk about those things. And if you guys are interested in calling in, you're more welcome to.
Is that you, Dale?
So when you do call in,
the
number is 684-7561. That's 604-684-7561. If you want to join us and share with us your stories, because basically it's going to be the fun time. So I got my good friend Dale on the back of the line. Are you there, my friend?
Oh, hi, Derrick. How are you tonight?
I am good.
Good. How's everybody out there in Radio Land?
I think everybody's doing pretty good so far. I also want to welcome everybody in the Facebook chat room. The chat room's beginning to get filled up, which is great. People are joining us to see what kind of music we could play and stories we're going to tell. And I would say I was just discussing the beginning of, what's going to come up for Christmas. I mean, everyone goes, oh no, Christmas is here. Oh my God. Now I got to find presents. And now, here's the thing. We either feel guilty or we don't. Like,
Guilt.
you got to find something, or you don't find something. And I remember years ago when I was a kid. I mean, my family was really poor. I mean, I was from living in Manitoba. It was really hard to live, and you're back in the 1960s. But
take a number.
Yeah, but I remember my mom and dad. Their version of gifts were even cookies and cakes.
Oh yeah.
Baking was even more appreciated than just getting a pair of socks.
Oh, you know it. Yes.
What is it with socks? Guys always get socks and
got socks?
I'll get you a pair of socks. You got socks?
Yeah.
I got a rock.
I got a rock.
In the 60s, I don't know about you, but me personally, mom was a single mom, and she had 5 kids, and I'm telling you, we were poor. I got to tell you this little story just to get everybody off. This is my story about a little bit things. One thing today, I don't like onions today. Really onions.
Yeah. You got to tell that story.
You've heard it 100 times. I don't like onions one time, but we were so poor.
How poor were you?
I was downstairs one time, and I was really hungry, and I opened the fridge.
Wait, Dale. Let's just do the Johnny Carson thing.
Oh, yeah.
We were so poor.
How poor were you?
I opened the fridge, and all I could see in the fridge was this huge onion.
Yeah.
Long, and it wasn't cut or anything. It was just big onions, and I thought to myself, "Oh, I can't eat that onion. That's got to be my onion god." So I never ate onions after that. Just unbelievable. So, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah. So Dale has an onion god.
Anyway, so you know what? It's not just I went through this. I bet you about 90% of us Métis people went through the real 60s and really went through some really tough times in our lives.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Ontario, you name it. Poverty was everywhere. We think the 60s were good, but you got to remember, they're just finishing Korea War, and people were coming back, and soldiers weren't around, and Christmas. I mean, it was our parents fended to get try to do the best for what we've done in our lives, and God bless you, Mom, that you took care of us, and I had a special brother that took care of us when he got a little older. He got a job and stuff like that. But it's I was just on the internet and talking about what was it like actually, and I wish some of the audience in the chat room to get on it and tell their little story or a story about what they think they would be like, in the 1800s, and what would the typical Métis family would be eating for foods and Christmas and the holiday times.
I remember watching a lot of the TV and stories, and they would say we were so poor, even the church mouse couldn't even afford a glass of water. It's
I remember that. But anyways, I was reading something on Facebook here, not Facebook, but actually on the internet, and it was about George and Terry Goulet. They wrote a real nice article about Christmas traditions and the foods that they would be eating and stuff like this. Even they would be, and funny thing about this, Derrick. I'm reading this article. They would say around the Christmas time, or they would even have weddings. And it's a funny thing. This Saturday, I'm going to my son's wedding.
Wow, your son's getting married.
My son is getting married. He
never even thought he would ever marry in his life. Remember, he said that.
Yeah, I can't believe it. Anyways,
Well, tell him congratulations from our side.
Yeah, thanks everybody, and thanks for all the wishes for my son. And you know, the funny part about it is, like Terry and George Goulet, they were saying that in traditions in the 1800s, December was a month of celebrating, partying, and having lots of fun, and weddings and celebrations, and lots of food was being made now.
There's a lady, one of our viewers, listeners, actually on our Facebook Live, and she says, my mom put a letter in a Christmas tree when she was a little girl, and it ended up in BC, and she was in Nova Scotia, and they had been pen pals for over 50 years now due to that.
Wow.
You know, and there's also another guy who says, big hello up in Australia. They have... let's see, Robert White says, big hello in Australia. They actually have Christmas in Australia. Right now it's actually summertime, it's a heat wave, and cold seafood meals.
Wow, yeah.
So, you know, and another person, Cynthia, she says, the best thing in that Canada Post strike right now, people will actually, the best thing is they're having a postal strike because everybody has to go to the stores and buy their presents. They can't do it online because nothing gets delivered.
Unbelievable, yeah.
Right?
Postal strike. You know what? And the government shouldn't step in. The government should just leave it alone. I mean, you know, we've been starving our postal workers for years, and it's about time, you know, that Mr. Trudeau just stayed his business and settled this with these guys. You know, they can MPs and everybody can get raises, but we can't even take care of our own people here. You know what? It's ridiculous. Anyways, getting back to the old story of the old 1800s there, Derrick, you know, I remember that one year, and I was very small, and Mom was very poor, of course, you know, having 6 kids and feeding food, but my mom made this meat pie, and now I never knew us with knowing what Mom would call it, but she just called it meat pie. You know, we would have a simple meat pie. Yeah. And eventually, I found out what it was called. It was called a tourtière. Yeah. You know, it's a French pastry pie, and my mom would make one fabulous. But she just used hamburger. She never used. Well, actually, it wasn't called hamburger in my day, Derrick. It was called ground round. Do you remember that?
Yeah, ground round, yeah.
Yeah, we go get a pound of ground round because it's going to, you know, and there was another soup that she made which we didn't understand. A friend of mine up here, Joe Short, he makes it. It's bouillon, beef bouillon or something like this. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and it's a meatball, like a little hamburger meatball soup, right? And you can add macaroni and whatever and all this stuff. That was one of our main meals, for God's sakes. That was like, okay, we're having, she'd make it like it's a big supper, you know what I'm saying? Some fresh bread or bannock at that time. We didn't even know what we were eating. It was just good food at the time. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, boy, I'll tell you. But it was tough. Mom really made that hamburger last. You know, we got a pound of it, like, you know, from the. It was called Safeway at the time. It was sorry, it was called Super Value at the time. We had a Super Value.
I remember them Super Values.
Do you remember them? Hey?
I think there might still be one left on the drive. I think.
Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Well, you know what we're going to do, Dale? We're going to throw in a song right now, and I'm going to do that one about the Safeway song.
Okay, go for it.
Now, this song here, the piece of paper says Santa. What is it now? Let's go see that. A good friend of mine, his name was Old Hands, and he actually wrote a song and recorded it, and this is actually funny as all heck. It's called Santa Left Me Presents in the Safeway Bin. We're going to play that, and so folks, it's CFRO 100.5 FM, Metis Matters Radio.
Oh, Santa left me presents in the Segway bin. He must have known the sad shape that I was in. I was dirty, hungry, and shivering. In the worst shape I was ever in. I drank away my wife, my job, and my children. I was tired of my friends always taking me in. And now I find the streets, they are my home. And all through the night I will roam. Oh, Santa left me presents in the Segway bin. He must have known the sad shape that I was in. But there was a box and it had my name. How did he know that's where I've been? There was a jacket, a scarf, and a pair of gloves. All wrapped real pretty with tenderness and love. But there besides a tiny Christmas tree was a beautiful picture of my family and me. Oh, Santa left me presents in the Segway bin. He must have known the sad shape that I was in. I was dirty and hungry and shivering. In the worst shape that I was ever in. There was sandwiches and sodas in the chocolate bar, and a map to a detox center that wasn't far. And then I saw a scribble on a homemade card. Daddy would love you whenever far. Oh, Santa left me presents in the Segway bin. He must have known the sad shape that I was in. I was dirty and hungry and shivering. In the worst shape that I was ever in. Well, the hand of Santa must have touched me then. My heart lit up like a giant beacon. I knew my choices must have put me where I've been. And right then and there I quit drinking. Oh, Santa left me presents in the Segway bin. He must have known the sad shape that I was in. I'm getting clean and sober, in. No sadness on my face, just a happy grin. Oh, Santa, let me presents in the same way in. He must have known the sad shade that I was in. Oh, Santa, let me presents in the same way in. He must have known the sad shade. He must have known the sad shade that I was in. Was he? Was he? Thank you, Santa.
CFRO 100.5 FM, Metis Matters Radio. That hits the heart, but that's actually true, folks. Up in here in Vancouver, we do have our homeless people living on the streets, and it's been going on for the longest time. So we want to put this song dedicated to all you folks out there. So it can hit the heart. It hits good, and I want everybody to be aware of that. And this is because, you know, when we were young, I mean, like I said, we talk about being poor, but then we have our homeless out there. And everybody gets affected, and it's not because you're drinking or you're doing drugs. It just there's forced homelessness, and so we're bigger, and we actually try to put our efforts and try to support our people in our community, whether it's in Métis, Indigenous, First Nations, everyone. We want to acknowledge everybody. So what do you think of that song, Dale?
Oh, I didn't hear it. I guess you must have cut me off there, but...
I cut you off, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Listen, but I remember...
You didn't hear it through the radio?
No,
Okay.
It just went dead there, so I...
Oh. Well,
Yeah.
you're still here.
He's up in the north.
Yeah, I live up north, yeah. Yeah, you know, Derrick, it was a different time when me and you were younger, and not that we're trying to say that we're old, but it was a different time. There wasn't as many people in Canada as there is today. You know, there's a lot of greed out there today. I remember my mom. They used to have a radio program or a radio show. It was called CKNW, and I think they were out of New Westminster. And what they did was they used to take the Christmas fund, and they would raise hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, because you got to remember, in the time of I was younger there, the population wasn't as big. There wasn't we didn't even have 1 million people in them days, and but they raised all this money, and they would go out and buy turkeys, and the first time that we got somebody put our name into the things, and they came with these 5 huge boxes, and of course, I think that was the first time. I think it was probably about 1963, 64.
You must be talking about the Orphans Fund.
Yeah, the Orphans Fund. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And we'd get presents and hampers and food, and I think that was the first time that we ever had a turkey. It was the first time in my life that we ever tasted turkey. It was usually just meat pies, like Mom would. For some reason, I don't know why meat pies was there, but then I'm looking back in history, and that was one of their main staples because they had buffalo meat, right? They would grind their buffalo meat and make pies and and soup and stuff like this. But they also did in the old days, from what I've learned, they used to eat a lot of goose. Did you have that when you were in Winnipeg, Derrick?
Actually, I have had goose. I've had, we have had wild turkey, we've had goose, we've had ham, we've had Christmas pudding, the old-fashioned way. We've had so many different kinds of meals. I can remember, my mouth can water right now as I talk. Just bringing it up, makes you think. My mom and dad used to make Christmas pudding. That's one thing I always look forward to, because They would spend days making this Christmas puddings and quart sealers, and mom and dad would make the sauces and everything, and like, oh man, and then they'd make extras, making sure that it would last you for months. Like she'd make lots, and they'd put it in the storage shelves, and that's my version of Christmas. But I remember. My dad used to get me to go with him out to the bush, and we'd go get a Christmas tree. You know, like it was never, you don't go to the store and go buy a tree off a lot. We went out in the bush, and he'll say, okay, now choose a tree. You know, like you pick a tree, no matter, you know, and I didn't, he says, but it has to be tall enough for you can carry, right? Yeah. Well, here's me, you know, here's a 10-year-old kid. If I can carry that tree, I can bring it, and then that's the one he'll cut down. Well, one year, we were in Winnipeg, and I pointed to my dad. I said, you know, this is like about 7 foot tall tree, right? Yeah. And I said, oh, I can carry that one, Dad. And he said, you sure? We'll cut that one down if you want it. And I said, oh, yeah, okay, I can carry it. I know I can carry it. Here's a 10-year-old saying this. So my dad cuts it down with a sweet saw, and I pick it up, and I'm carrying it, trying to pull. And this is a deep snow too, right? Back in the 60s, the snow was really deep, and I'm just burying myself in there. I look like a kid up, like I'm actually in the snowbanks, and I'm in my waist up, and I'm trying to pull that tree so hard. And I didn't realize my dad was standing behind me, and he slowly just had his hand under the tree, giving me a little bit of a push, thinking that I've got all the strength to pull it. And he goes, yeah, come on, boy, you can do it. I'm just pulling on that tree, and I was so proud to have that tree brought in the house. We set it up. Wow, that's the tallest tree I've ever had in our house before. And even through the years, we never did have as tall a tree as that one.
Now, Derrick, I got to ask you a question. Yeah. I've lived most of my life in British Columbia. Of course, you know we've got all the most fabulous Christmas trees. Yeah. How far did you have to travel from Winnipeg? Did you have to go all the way up to Thompson, Manitoba to get your tree?
No, we went, there is another part, is called Carmel.
Oh, because I don't remember ever seeing a pine tree in Winnipeg. Yeah.
No, we had to.
I'm trying to tell you.
No, we had to leave town. We had to go. My dad traveled for about maybe
25 hours.
No. We went for at least an hour drive. To get a tree.
Yeah.
You
guys had you had Ontario there, so you probably had to drive to Ontario to.
We had ourselves a good sized pine tree, and but. We had, like I said, the snow was really deep then, and my father, we made sure we brought all our warm clothes and big mitts, and you know. Oh yeah. My father, he always made sure he had a rifle on the hand, just by some chance was any bears. Yeah. Yeah. Because my grandfather got caught between two bears one time. He had a rabbit gun. He was going rabbit hunting. Yeah. And the little rabbit gun is like, it's a .22, but it's a short type of rifle, and he got caught between a mother bear and a cub. And, while he was hunting, and he had to make a choice, either like the cub or the mother, and so it was either his life or hers. And so when she got really, she made for a heavy run, and he just popped her between the eyes, and then down she went. Yeah. But the 22s are never supposed to be able to kill a bear, but he knew how to survive.
Yeah, he just hit it at the right spot.
But the cub, he took the cubs to a lady who her husband worked for some sort of a government that was taking care of animals, and so they helped him raise them and then released them after. Oh, good. So they're pretty good about it, but it really bothered him. But what my grandfather had done is he actually took the bear and made it into meat, so nothing was wasted.
Yeah, believe it or not, in Vancouver, you were saying, we did get snow. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like 15 feet in Winnipeg like you guys did.
Well, I remember coming up here one time back in 1964. Yeah. In 64, you guys had snow.
Yeah, we had one of those blizzards. Yeah. At 3 inches.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. How about here's one thing, Dale. Have you ever had eggnog?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Not homemade. Oh, not homemade eggnog.
Oh, my father used to make my dad made homemade eggnog. Oh yeah. But they used to drop a few, like a half an ounce of brandy in it.
Oh yeah. Oh wow.
And that was they call that eggnog, but that's when all the relatives came over, and only the adults can have the eggnog.
Yeah, yeah. That was good.
It's more like nog than egg.
That's right. I was going to say you also had wild turkey, but the only wild turkey in Vancouver was at the liquor store.
Yeah, there was a wild turkey in the bottle. Yeah, that's right.
Somehow I knew he would go there.
Yeah. You know, we laugh, Derrick, about, how poor we were and how, times were struggles and stuff like this. But you know what? We're sitting on the radio right now talking about it and just and having a good fun. And that's, I think the best part about our families it was family values. It was getting the families together. We would go over and visit my Uncle Joe, and spend time there, and then we'd go over to my dad's family and spend time over there with the cousins and stuff. It was a very good time. It wasn't like we needed a lot of money to live in, I
remember when all our families came together, cousins and all that. I mean, we had a whole house full of people for Christmas all the time. And we even know everybody opened up all their gifts at home. But the thing is, when we all had our big family dinners, and I remember after we all ate, all the kids went outside and played, and we're making snowmans and that sort of thing. But that was your fun, That's difficult, typical being in the snow. And I remember some people were saying, they're doing some stories here. They're saying, well, they remember watching TV or listening to some Bing Crosby music, or let's see here, Nat King Cole Christmas music. Let's see here, what else is there?
Jim Reeves, Johnny Horton,
the Chipmunks.
The Chipmunks. Oh yeah,
David Seville, the Chipmunks. Yeah.
That was his favorite song, the Chipmunks.
Oh yeah.
I want to hope.
Yeah, that's what we should be playing tonight.
World class all the way.
Well, I got a even better song than the Chipmunks. Like Old Hands. I'm going to promote Old Hands a little bit here because the guy is really wonderful.
Actually, was a very talented man.
Yeah, well, he still is, and Old Hands. Him and I used to sing on stage together. Remember we did that? You and I did the Millennium Magic 2000.
Oh yeah.
Back in 2000, 18 years ago, and Old Hands came with us, and both him and I were on stage singing.
Oh yes, that's right.
And we were singing on. Yes, folks, I do sing. But Old Hands wrote this song, and this is absolutely hilarious, and I'll tell you why. How many of you folks out there, listeners out there, actually you would hear your parents say to you when you go to bed, have a good night. Don't let the bed bugs bite.
Yeah.
This is even actually.
I thought it was good night, sleep tight.
Yeah.
Don't let the
bed bugs bite. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Okay. Now here's a song that Old Hands wrote, and this is a Christmas one. It's called "Doug the Christmas Bedbug."
Okay.
As Christmas gets near, we cannot forget the most famous of creatures that Christmas gets. He's quiet and shy, comes out only at night, lives quietly between mattresses, hidden from sight. Doug, the Christmas bedbug, spreading Christmas throughout the year. As you quietly sleep on Christmas Eve, he waits for the silence to say things are right. He crawls from his hiding place, guided by the carbon dioxide leaving your face. Doug, the Christmas bedbug, looking for a Christmas meal. If you believe in Santa, then you'll know he's real. Comes crawling through the blankets and in between sheets, clawing his way between your butt cheeks to your belly, looking for something to eat. The taste of your blood he finds as sweet. Doug, the Christmas bedbug, spreading cheer throughout the year. So look for the droplets he leaves on your sheet. It's his way of thanking you for your Christmas tree. Doug, the Christmas bedbug, spreading cheer throughout
Join me, Derrick Whiteskycloud. I am your host every Wednesday night from 5 to 6 p.m. for Metis Matters Radio, where we discuss why Metis matters and the worldwide matters of Metis people. From the past to the present, every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. on Vancouver's Co-op Radio, CFRO 100.5 FM. Yes, we're back, folks, and this.
I ran over the Christmas bedbug.
That's okay. All you hear is that's it. There you go.
Oh, dog.
Oh, Doug, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I squished a bedbug.
Oh yeah. Did you ever go Christmas caroling?
We actually, you know what? Think about it. Christmas caroling in school, yes, I did. Christmas caroling outside of school, no. The only time I ever did any Christmas caroling is if
little sister Teresa and my older sister Joan, and we were. You know what? When I was younger, I could sing, and I'm telling you, I could sing Silent Night like you wouldn't believe. Now you can't even give me the mic anymore. It's pretty bad. Anyways, we used to, in school, I don't know if you did this, Derek, they used to give you these UNICEF boxes.
Yeah.
I know we talked about this, not discussing what we used to do.
We got them in the 70s, too.
After we collected the money. But we weren't going to talk about that. But we used to go around, like I said, we were so poor that me and my sister would go out and we would carol. And, I mean, you got to remember, where I lived, the streets were pretty good. If it snowed, they shoveled the snow so we could sing. And I'm telling you that, we used to give my mom half of the money that we would make. So if we made $10 that night, Mom would get $5 and she would get to go buy groceries and feed us kids, and of course the three of us would split the remaining, and we'd go out and get ourselves a gift. And in my day, I used to like buying dinky toys, and eventually I collected a lot of them. But
So that was your UNICEF collection?
Oh, never mind the unit. You said you didn't even want to talk about it, Derek. What did you do with
I didn't say I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't say a word about no. I'll tell you. I'll tell you honestly what I did. Some of us kids who were young, we did stupid stuff. I remember when every kid in our school got these UNICEF boxes. I'm not even sure if they're all UNICEF boxes, but they're boxes, and you're raising money for some foundation. But the boxes used to be cardboard and used to be sealed up, or they're made of tin.
Oh yeah.
And so we go from house to house to house, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm doing all this as a kid. Our family is so poor, and I'm going from house to house trying to raise money, and I filled the whole thing right up, and I thought, I'm really wanting to get candy. My parents can't afford it. So I end up somehow knowing I learned something from my uncle, and he says,
you learned it from your
if you want to take an envelope, you get a tea kettle, hot tea kettle or a hot water kettle, and you get it really steamy up, and you just lay that envelope above, where it softens the glue and then it opens up, right? So I thought, okay, maybe I'll try it in the box. So because the glue's holding the box down, so I just hung it above the hot water kettle, and then the steam is slowly letting it release the glue, and I'm going like, oh man, so I'm dumping the money out and going, oh wow, there's like dollar bills in there. Now don't forget, folks, these are not loonies, they're dollar bills. So I thought, okay, I'll just take just the dollar bills, because you want to make it sound like there's lots in there, right? The coin. So I took maybe about $10. Now back in those years, $10 is like having maybe, I don't know, $20. So
it's a lot of money.
A lot of money back then, And so, anyways, I took the $10 worth of change, like whatever dollars, and then I put all the money back in there again. Then because we had to give to the school, but I re-glued it back together again, and took it back to the school. And then the principal or whoever's running the program, they said, "Well, you want another box?" "Well, sure." So we go back out, other place we go to raise money, and again, we were being kids. You see one kid do it, everybody else is doing it.
Yeah, sorry, Derrick.
Yeah.
The money that they were raising, you know, it was being sent out of the country, we think.
Oh, we want to believe it's sent out of the country.
Want to believe that the money was going and not going into some politician's back pocket.
Well, we even sometimes we wondered after if the principal actually was. We were thinking too that maybe the principal was actually like we never did see the money leave the boxes leave the school.
Oh, yeah.
Like we don't know who actually had those boxes of money leaving because think about it. There's 300 students. That's 300 boxes.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes we were given 2 or 3 or 4 boxes to, raise money. Well, you think about it, where's all that money going to? And the kids really don't know where the money was going to because you're only young, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you know what we did one time, and I got it, and I bet you 99% of the population, Metis, First Nation, whatever, the same thing. Everybody did the same thing. They paid for Christmas dinner and your presents. What we used to do is they give us a cardboard box. Well, we would take the cardboard box, empty it of all the bills, and then we'd go to the bank and we'd get rolls of pennies. Mm-hmm. Like, so if we got $40 out of that box, we'd get maybe $5 worth of pennies, and then just fill it up with pennies.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, and then turn it in. So it looked like they got lots of monies, but it was all. Well, we don't know if they weren't opening it up. I think they were just passing it on.
Well, think about it, Dale. Back in those years, pennies were still even dropped in boxes. So either way, you're trying to be reasonable about the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, but you know something? The funny part about it is, I think they caught on to us because they used to give it to us in cardboard boxes.
Yeah.
And then next year, they gave us it in cans.
Yeah.
With the little slots.
Yeah, yeah.
The knives. And we used to
start using knives.
Get the money out. And, I'll tell you, we were bad.
I know.
We were the best. We were the best can openers without trying to damage it, right?
We did crazy stuff. Here's another lady, Cynthia. She wrote in here and she goes, "My grampy came home from the war on Christmas Eve to my mom's, dressed as Santa. Also, he had a tattoo of a naked woman on his arm. Guy's night out. So my grandmother had made him go to the tattoo parlor again to get a bathing suit put on her." On the tattoo. He used to walk around wearing an undershirt all the time at home, but as kids we would say, "Make her dance, Grampy, make her dance," and he would move his muscles.
Oh, crazy.
I was going to say, it's a good thing there's only 7-year limit of statute limitation.
Yeah. Here comes the IRS or Canadian Taxation Department. That's funny.
But you know something, getting all away from all that, it was just a gentler time, the music, like you says, I played Christmas music and we listened to that stuff and parties and hardies and everything. Not necessarily parties with drinking involved, but just good music and I'm telling you, I just got a message today about, I told you I went and did my venue of my first DJ job, right?
Oh yeah, you're DJ Haggerty.
Oh yeah, DJ Haggerty. Well, I just got invited back to do it again, so I'm going back to the Legion out here in Clearwater to December 15th, and I'm going to do it's a good listening, dancing music, and then I'm going to throw in some good old country Christmas songs and
That's good.
Jingle Bell Rock and all that stuff, and so.
Vivian wrote in here. She goes, "My siblings and I went around the better part of the neighborhood, caroling to be able to afford one Christmas present for our parents. Everyone wanted to give us hot chocolate instead."
Yeah.
She's laughing. And then and then Robert says, instead of people going out caroling at houses down here, we have what is called a sound shell that puts on carols by candlelight that raises funds for the underprivileged. Big night with heaps of songs, visit from Santa for the kids.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you a story, folks. What I had done when I worked for Metis Family Services back in 2005, a good friend of ours actually played Santa, and we did it for our foster kids. And I think you may remember that one, Dale. We did. Remember my wife and I and a few of us. We set up this one room to look like Santa's room, where it has a big chair, and he was giving out presents to all the kids. The kids loved it. They've never had experienced anything quite like that. You know,
wow.
It's wonderful to give out gifts.
Oh,
to kids
yeah. Well,
back then.
I actually did. I used to go to the Army Navy Club in 3rd and Main Street, and I got to tell you the story. I got the kids going. In the first year, I was in the glazing trade, that I was working for my brother, and I had cut my hand, my right hand here,
Yeah.
and my finger, and of course there's a big scar there. They had a little operation, pulled some tendons back, and anyways, it left a scar. Matter of fact, the scar is still there, and I never even noticed it. And of course, I'm wearing my wedding band, and of course, here are my 2 kids coming in, and I'm dressed up, and I had this beautiful, beautiful Santa Claus suit, and it was all really nice, and I'm dressed up and ho, 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 and changing my voice and everything, and my daughter, she gets on my lap, and she's looking at me strange, like, ho, 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 what would you like for Christmas? And she's looking at my hand, she says, are you my daddy? I says, well, why would you say that? He says, my daddy's got a scar like yours. and then the next year, she's looking at me, and I used to have my beard, because I never had it. I used to shave my beard, my mustache off, and everything. And the next year, I got some makeup, and I covered up my scar, right, with some makeup on my hands, like darkened it up, and she notices my ring, my wedding ring. She says, "You're my daddy, aren't you?" I'm trying to keep a straight face. Ho, 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 no, 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 no.
No,
and
no, no, ho, ho, ho.
So the third year, this is the funny part about it, is she comes on my lap and she says, I noticed you put gloves on to hide the ring and the scar, Daddy. I'm telling you. And of course, Maria, my first wife there, she was just laughing away, and everybody could hear it, because we had a mic at the Santa Claus thing. And oh boy, that was a lot of fun, I'm telling you.
You know what's really funny? I actually have a Buck Owens song all queued up called Santa Looked a Lot Like Daddy, actually, here. It's a funny song, actually. I'm not sure if we have time to play it or.
Well, I got the Roadkill Christmas. I want to do a.
Okay, cool.
We can do 2 of them.
Yeah.
We
Why
can do
not?
2 of them.
Yeah.
We'll throw in the Roadkill Christmas, and we'll do that one right after that. So, folks, you're gonna listen to 2 songs. One's gonna be Roadkill Christmas by Bubba J, and the other one,
Santa Looked a Lot Like Daddy by Buck Owens.
Here we go.
In a 6-pack inside my truck. My wife rides in the back because she won't shut up. There's a deer in the headlights, and though it might be a sin, I gun the motor and run over him. It's a roadkill Christmas, venison pre-tenderized. I can smell the beer from here. Christmas, 'cause they freeze when the lights hit their eyes. By the time we got home, he was her pet. That night he slept on my side of the bed. I had to spend the night out in my truck, but I had some beer, so I didn't give a darn.
Look, they're applauding. They're hoping it's over.
Oh, that was close. I know, I almost said damn. Oh, A couple days later, I made him a deal. If he worked for me, then he would not be my next meal. I covered his antlers with foil, and then I plugged the TV cable into his rear end.
Who's the old woman playing the guitar?
Well, Christmas, that dumb deer changed my life.
Ah, much better. This guy can sing. Then again, I have no ears.
Time I'll run over my wife.
I laughed, I cried, I threw up a little in my mouth. They're not actually going to show this to anyone, are they? They already have. It's the end of the world.
Santa looked a lot like Daddy. Our Daddy looked a lot like him. It's not the way I had him pictured. Santa was much too thin. He didn't come down the chimney, so Mama must have let him in. Santa looked a lot like Daddy. Our Daddy looked a lot like him. Well, they thought I was fast asleep and they thought I was tucked in bed. They never thought that I'd come a peeping or that I'd hear what was said. Santa put his arm around Mama, and Mama put her arm around him. So if Santa Claus ain't Daddy, then I'm gonna tell on them. Well, Santa looked a lot like Daddy. Her Daddy looked a lot like him. It's not the way I had him pictured. Santa was much too thin. He didn't come down the chimney, so Mama must have let him in. Santa looked a lot like Daddy. Her Daddy looked a lot like him. I never saw a dancer, a prancer. I never heard the sleigh bells ring. I never saw the red-nosed reindeer like they show on the TV screen. But it sure brought a lot of presents, so Santa Claus he must have been. Really sure looked a lot like Daddy, and Daddy looked a lot like him. Well, Santa looked a lot like Daddy, or Daddy looked a lot like him. It's not the way I had him pictured. Santa was much too thin. He didn't come down the chimney, so Mama must have let him in. Santa looked a lot like Daddy, and Daddy looked a lot like him.
Calling all members. Co-op Radio will be holding its annual general meeting on Sunday, December 9th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Come celebrate the end of an exciting year at our AGM at the Dodson Hotel and join us to review where we've been, dream the future, and vote in the new board of directors. Come to the Co-op Radio Annual General Meeting on Sunday, December the 9th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Less than a minute's walk from the station at the Dodson Hotel, 25 East Hastings. See you soon.
Yeah, CFRO 100.5 FM, 18 Matters Radio, and we're going to be coming to a close pretty soon here. And what do you guys think of that song? Pretty cool, eh?
Yeah, I got cut off again, Derrick. Doesn't matter.
Oh, I'm always cutting you off.
No, that's okay, because I'll listen to it afterwards.
Yeah.
At coopradio.org.
Yeah, that's right too. Yeah, you guys. You know, I'd like to do this if you guys don't mind. It's nothing bad. I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. I want to wish everybody a good holiday. I want everybody to be safe, and let's see if we can bring peace to this world and take a little greed out of our lives and share it with our family and our friends and that's all I'm going to say about that for tonight. So, because you are getting close to the end here, we've got to get a 2-hour program.
We need that. We need that.
Yeah, I think so. Just don't give me the mic, like they say. Yeah, so.
Well, yeah, you got to get the mic sometime.
Okay, a little bit.
Yeah. We always have to have some of the mic. It's
Yeah.
important. We need to get the the music out there, and
Yeah,
But,
that's right.
What we're going to do is we're going to finish off the night with J.J. LaValle of Three Men on a White Horse, because let's put it this way: you need 3 men on a white horse to bring all the presents to all the people.
There you go.
but anyways, coming before the weekend, this coming weekend, folks, I'm going to be at a location called the Tsleil-Waututh First Nations Christmas Craft Fair up in North Vancouver. I'll be there on Saturday and Sunday selling my Métis artisan wares. So if you guys want to come down and join us, I will be there this weekend. Come and say hi. And if there's anything you want to talk about, we'd love to meet you and see you. And you guys have a wonderful week. And Christmas is coming, folks. It's it's beginning of the year, and my wife's going like, I can't believe December's coming. You're gonna go you're gonna end up having some heavy breathing. So take care, and thank you for joining us, Dale. And we're gonna talk to you guys next week. Take care, folks.
Take care, guys.